Hi, good morning, everyone. Today we talk about the exception handling. What is the exceptions? Whenever we are doing certain tasks in one direction, we assume that always in the life, this will go as per the plan. It never goes as per the plan. Always some kind of an uh, alternative path we need to take to accomplish the plan, and you get encounter some issues while you thinking it will go like this, but always some kind of an exceptions will occur, and we need to take a handle those exceptions and take an alternative path to accomplish that exception. The some suppose the real example is you have decided, like, group of 5 people decided to go to a movie theater and watch a movie. So you all started by car and you went to the movie theater and you try to buy the tickets, and you got all 5 tickets. You went to the theater, you enjoy the movie and come back. This is a normal flow. Take a scenario one. You have all went to movie theater, 5 people, you want to buy movie tickets, and you have only 2 tickets are available, and 3 people didn't get a tickets. So only 2 people can go to movie and 3 people cannot go to movie. So this is an exception occurred. You planned something and it does not occur the way you planned it. Then you need to take an alternative approach. What are the alternative approach we need to take? One opportunity is that the 3 people can go to different movie theater or different movie within the same complex. Or the 5 people can drop that movie. All 5 people can go to different movie theater and watch different movie. So this is the kind of an exception criteria can occur. Suppose your friend came and asked you, can I borrow, like, 2000 rupees? He said that, okay, I'll give it. Then you went to the bank and take his account number and try to transfer the money. You have enough funds. The money has been transferred to your friend. He's happy. And you are also happy you are helping him. The second scenario is that you want to give your money to him, but you went to the bank and tried to transfer the 2000 rupees or withdraw through 2000 rupees from your ATM. And unfortunately, don't have money in your account. And your bank will notify that no more funds available for you to take the 2000 rupees out from your bank. This is the exception cases can occur in the real time, in the real life. And the computer system has to notification sent to you saying that this is the occurred, this is the what you planned it, but it does not happening the way you are planning. You need to handle those kind of situation. This is the real time scenarios you have encountered day to day. Taking a real example, you all want to go to movie, you take a car, you sat everyone in the car, and you are trying to go to the movie theater, and your car is totally as total, means it stopped working. You not even reached to the movie theater. It means that totally your car is broken, breakdown. So this is a different kind of exception. Means that you thought like at least you go to the movie theater, but in between your your tire is had a flat tire, or your something happened in your car engine and car is not moving forward. What do you do generally? You take an hey, let's drop the car, take auto or taxi and go to the movie theater, watch it, or drop the complete movie, focus on your car, repair it. This is the real time scenarios it will encounter in our day to day life. In software also, it can happen similar way. You wrote a code, everything, and you deployed it, and it is working fine, but maybe your computer has some issue occurred, and totally it went down. Then how do you handle those kind of problems? This is where this exception handling mechanism will come into play. The general syntax, we have been writing the code, public void, method name, opening the curly bracket, closing the curly bracket. You have been writing a lot of code in the method. Whenever you want to write exception handling, you need to write a code like this. So try and open the bracket and close the bracket. Catch means that catching the exception. This is the exception class. Like the way we have known that we are writing a lot of classes. As I mentioned, Java already written some of the classes for us to help us. So that is a class called exception class is already written by Java programming already. So whenever the exception occurred, you write the normal line of code here. Suppose you want to book a movie tickets by using your credit card online. You try to book it. How many tickets you want to book? You want to book 5 tickets. In the code is written here to make a reservation to the movie theater. All of a sudden, after the 2 tickets has been purchased, the third ticket you want to purchase, unfortunately, tickets are sold out. It means that it cannot make a complete the transaction. The request will come to the exception block. It will tell that this exception tells you saying that no more tickets are available and you need to handle this. What to do next? And the communication will goes to the user saying that on your web page you will be seeing that tickets are not available. So we need to prepare some kind of a message to the customer user to say that no more exception, no more tickets are available based on the conditions. If you take a bank account transfer, balance is zero. You are trying to send a friend some money and you write a code, check my balance and check my account number, check my routing number, check my friend's account number, check routing number, transfer money 2000 rupees from account number to account number for the respective bank. You might have know the bank routing number, IFSC codes, right? But what happen is you don't have money in your account, maybe your account balance is zero. Then you are not able to make the transaction. The request will come to the exception black. When it comes to the exception black, you need to let the user knows that you don't have enough funds to transfer the money. So you encounter these kind of problems in the real life. You understand what I was talking about, all this exception criteria.
Yes, sir.
There are two types of things that happen: errors and exception. Exceptions have a control. A human has a control and exception. Take my movie criteria. You have traveled in a car, you went to the movie theater, and you want to buy tickets. And 2 tickets are available, 3 tickets are not available. Still, you have a control whether 3 people can go to different movie theater and watch different movie, or within the movie theater, some other movies are running, you can go and watch it. Error, you went to there, but you want to go there, but your car is totally breakdown. You're not even reaching to the movie theater. This is the kind of error conditions. Whenever the error comes, everything is stops working. You can't even do anything. That is called the errors. The example I will give, you might know that you might have purchased your computer. Generally, whenever you want to buy a laptop, hey, I want 8 GB RAM. I want 16 GB RAM. You always say that. You look at the configurations. Suppose you have purchased a laptop of 8 GB RAM, means that 8 GB RAM, random access memory. Whenever the RAM is more, we always think that computer does very good job and works very fast. Suppose you purchase the RAM of 8 GB RAM and you started using it and you wrote a big program. That program is occupying your RAM like that, it is consuming your RAM. It consumed 1 GB, it consumed 2 GB, it consumed 4, 5, 6, 7, it reaches to 8 GB. Means your RAM is totally occupied in your computer. What will happen to your computer? Your computer might shut down immediately. It means error occurred for your computer. All of a sudden you might see a blue screen in your laptop. I don't know whether you have noticed it or not. In your Windows laptop, you get a blue screen. You need to restart the computer. So those are the exceptional carried error conditions. Whenever you get error conditions in Java, The JVM, which is called whenever you type Java class name, it invokes JVM to start. Java virtual machine will stop working whenever you get error. It don't even ask you. It will stop working and your program will shut down. Exception means Java virtual machine knows that, hey, something is not happening in the right manner. At least given a clue to the user to handle these exceptions so that the Java virtual machine will not stop working. If you don't catch that exceptions and alternative mechanism, you don't follow it, the Java virtual machine will also shut down and stops working. Exceptions are very useful. You always get an encounter exception. The real life also, you suppose you want to celebrate a function in your home. You plan such a thing like almost 20 days, 30 days before. On the day of the function, something goes wrong. You don't even think like that way. So most of the funny case will happen. You celebrate birthday party, everything is arranged. Maybe you don't have matchbox near to lit the cake, right? The candle. So this kind of exception will occur. So in the real scenario also, the exception occur. You use your common sense to solve the problem. In the programmatic way also, exceptions can occur, which cannot be avoided, but you need to think this kind of exception might occur whenever writing a code. This kind of exception, right? How to handle it. As a good programmer, always need to think how the exceptions can occur, envision, and write the code accordingly to handle the exceptions. And the real scenarios are a few days back. I don't know whether you people are watching news or not. Let me share you something. CrowdStrike. I don't know whether you have seen this
Yes, yes, Sham. Because
crowd
I'm working with Microsoft itself, right? I know. CrowdStrike.
CrowdStrike.
Yes, CrowdStrike.
So if you see this, the best example of a CrowdStrike company, the CrowdStrike company is a security. Let me share my screen again. CrowdStrike company is the providing a security mechanism, like to protect the computers. They try to protect the computers from the hackers or any virus attack to the computer. They build a lot of software. They deploy this software. It's a very big company. They have deployed this software to every Microsoft computer. Not every Microsoft computer, but a lot of big companies like Azure, like airplane systems, all the computer systems. So what happened is, and accidentally they have pushed a some kind of a defective code that had been pushed to the airline system, computers, and banking system, and even the police department emergency services. It went to every computer, and all of a sudden, that computers has been stopped working. So because of this, last week, complete airplanes has been stopped working. All the airplanes, because there is no computers in the airport, airplanes cannot fly, and they have shut down all the airplanes not to fly for a couple of hours. And even the police department not receiving emergency calls for a couple of hours. Banks stops working for a couple of hours until they push the latest code to resolve this problem. This is a real scenario occurred last week. I just want to explain to you what I'm teaching today in the versus real scenarios. Is it an exception or error? It is an error occurred that stops working whole systems. Because of this, there's a billions of dollars is lost. Means airplanes have stopped working for a couple of hours. Means that how many passengers are impacted, how much revenue is stopped, how much revenue lost to the companies. Banks stops working for a couple of hours means how many transactions stopped working, how much money has been lost by banks, right? Because of these exceptions. I'm just linking the real world problem, what occurred last week versus the what we are learning today. Generally, the lot of the developers who have 1 year, 2 years of experience, they cannot think these exceptions until you get a good experience while writing the program. To write a program to considering all these scenarios. Take an example. You are the first time you are doing a birthday party or you are doing a function in your home. You are the first time celebrating a function. You did all planning. You invited a guest, everyone. And at the day of the event, some problems might occur always. But next time you do the same function, you know what mistakes I did last time. Again, you try to improvise it. Means that you do better planning now. Again, you celebrate a function. Again, some mistakes will happen. Again, you try to do the same function again. After some months, you try to overcome all the problems and you try to do a function very planned, organized way. The reason I'm telling as a developer who are writing a code initial days as soon as they start the career, they cannot think this exception criteria. They always think that I need to write a code, transfer the money, transfer from one account to another account. You always think in a positive mindset. To write exception, you need to have a negative mindset. A human has a positive mindset, negative mindset, right? So you need to use the more negative mindset. Negative means don't take it negative. I'm talking about negative means what if this not happening, what I should do? Thinking in the negative direction. You need to have that kind of a thought process when writing a code. So in the exception handling, so there are many types of exceptions. There are many types. One is that user defined means that I'm the user, I can define my own exceptions. And system defined exceptions. System is already predefined some exceptions. What is user defined? I just give an example for the transferring the money from one account to another account. Technically speaking, there is no problem. You are trying to transfer the money of 2,000 rupees from account to account. Perfectly fine. Computer system, no issues. You are transferring the money. But the problem is that money is not available in the from account. How can you transfer it? So there is no issue with the computer system. There is no issue with your computer RAM. There is no issue with the CPU. Technically, there the problem is that money is not available. Means it is a more kind of not a technical problem of your hardware or your networking system. More, it is a problem of your functionality problem, functional issues, functional exceptions. You know the functional exceptions. Movie theater. You want to go to movie, buy a ticket. There is no issue with your computer system. But your functionality says that if tickets are only 50 available, 100 tickets are available for the watch a movie. And you have given 100 tickets to everyone. And one more person wants to buy a ticket. Tickets are not available. You say sold out. Generally, you say boards in the sold out in the movie theater. Now, if you are buying the same ticket online, you need to put a sold out message. So those are the your functionality based exceptions. That is a way computer Java don't know what kind of exception your functionality have. You define your own exception how you want. That is called user defined exceptions. And system defined. System is already predefined some exceptions. You know that if 2 divided by 0, can you divide a 2 divided by 0? It is not possible, right? Technically speaking. 2 multiplied by 0, it becomes 0. Arithmetic operation. 2 plus 0 is 2. 2 divided by 0, it is not technically possible from the mathematical standpoint of view. So Java knows those kind of exceptions already. They have already predefined. So within that, there are two types of exception: checked exception, unchecked. Checked means that whenever you try to compile your code, JavaC can detect hey, there is an exception might occur in this code. It will tell you as a friend, this is a line of code. I know that a exception might occur. You need to have a try catch block. You need to write a code. So far, you have written a code without try catch block. But Java compiler will not alert you because you are not writing a code such a way that exception might occur. You are always writing a code for positive scenarios. But there are some cases, suppose you are trying to write a code to generate an exception, might generate exception. Java compiler will detect before you compile the code saying that there is an exception here. Right. Those called checked means you already checked. Unchecked means I don't know. Java compiler cannot detect that there is an exception might occur, but Java runtime environment virtual machine can detect it at the time of happening the executing the program. Like an example, you define int is equal to 10, int a is equal to 10, int b is equal to 0. You put a system.out.println a plus b, it prints 10. A multiplied by b, it prints 0. A divided by b, it will throw an exception. That is the unchecked exceptions, which cannot be decided at the compile time. You can decide the runtime. Those are the unchecked exceptions. So exception types broadly defined like this: user defined, system defined. Within system defined, checked, unchecked. When you are writing a code, whenever there is a checked or unchecked, you need to put a try catch blocks. Then whenever you get an exception occurs, the control will reaches to the catch block and program will not stop working. It will continue going forward. So line number 1, line number 2, line number 3. Line number 2 encounter exception. It jumps to catch block. It will skip all the lines. It comes to the catch block directly and starts executing in the catch block. Then go on to the next level, next line of code of execution. It is suppose if catch block is not there, if the line number 3 encounter problem, Java virtual machine stops working and the program will be shut down completely if you don't handle exceptions. As you have already explained, user-defined exception, right, helps to identify the business issues and generate an exception code and exception message. If you take in a real scenario in our bank, when you are trying to access the bank, you enter a user ID password wrong. You enter a user ID password wrong. It will tell you user ID password is wrong combination. You see message. This is real time you are been encountering. Doesn't matter bank or even Gmail accessing. You get a message, red color, user ID password combination is wrong. Or suppose you enter the user password right and OTP will generate it. You want to enter the OTP. Sometimes we overlook, we enter the wrong OPT. It says that OPT is wrong, invalid OPT. Or OPT you entered after 10 minutes, OPT is expired. You have seen these kind of messages when you're using a day-to-day life in your program, in your accessing any application. When you log into the bank, you want to do certain transactions in the bank, you get an exception in online showing to you funds are not available, or sometimes system is doing upgrade, or these kind of messages you are seeing day-to-day life. When you are setting a new password, a password setting, there is a password rules. You need to have a one at least capital letter, at least have one number, one lowercase letter. You need to have some kind of a special characters. Whenever and don't repeat the same password for previous 10 password. Don't repeat. You see these kind of rules whenever you are resetting a password. but accidentally you enter it by mistake, capital letter, you enter lowercase, and you don't enter the special characters. It says that invalid password, special characters are missing. So these, whenever you enter password and submit button, there is a method has written in the background in the Java code, reset the password, and there is a rules you written. You check the password. It has a special character, yes. It has if conditions. If it has a capital letter, yes. It has a lower letter, yes. Is it password has been previous password? This is yes. It has been used the same password past 10 times. Then you throw an exception, custom defined exception, saying that invalid password. What was the message type? You tell them the password is used previously, or you send a message saying that your password doesn't have a capital letters. This is nothing to do with your computer system. It is your functionality you are decided. That is the way we write a exception to handle this kind of cases. Suppose if you see my screen here, this is user defined exception. How to write a user defined exception? So public class, my user exceptions, extends exception class. Here I'm using a inheritance. We studied about inheritance in the past class. Exception is a class is written by Java already. It has some kind of functionality, and we are trying to extend the class. It means that my user exception is a subclass or child class for the exception class. Some of the functionality we take it from here. They've written already. And you defined a string exception message type, int exception code, message type and code. You define two variables. Why you need exception type? What kind of message? Capital letters are missing, code 001. Lowercase letters are missing, code 002. Special characters are missing, code 003. You define these codes. It will be easy for your understanding. Code 003 means you know that it is a special characters are missing. So this is the class, my exception constructor. String, you are taking message type and your exception code. In this, I'm assigning this data to this, and I'm calling a super message type. See that why I'm calling super message type? I'm calling a constructor of the exception class and passing the same data to there, because in the exception class, they have defined only the message, but they have not defined the code. But this string I'm passing to the exception class also. Generally, if I pass like this, I don't need to have a one more string here. I can use the exception class string itself. But let's do not want to focus more on that right now. Then I created an object. This is for my testing purpose. I create a my exception object. My user exception object 1 is equal to my user exception. I pass the wrong input data, and code is 1000 I assigned. Invalid phone number, I put a code is 2000. Invalid email ID, I put a code of 3000. So you write this class like this. Whenever you want to throw an exception, you will create an object of this class, throw an exception. I will tell you in the next slides how this exception will be thrown. I'll explain to you. Here I have defined a class, and at testing purpose, I created this public static one. But generally, I don't need this public static void method. I just write a class like this. Get ready my user defined exceptions. I will stop for like a couple of minutes if any questions for anyone. So we talked about already the user-defined exceptions. Now we talked about unchecked exceptions. What is unchecked exceptions? As I given example in the past, I wrote a class called test exceptions, publish static void main, int a is equal to 5, int a is equal to 10, int b is equal to 5. I'm just printing remainder a divided by b. It works fine, no issues. Now b, I made it to 0. Then I try to print this one. This line will throw in a Java arithmetic exception. I commented out here, but it will throw in a arithmetic exception, and my JVM will stop working. Actually speaking, will not work. I will send this code to you people to execute also. Instead of that, I wrote like this: try system.out.println a remainder of a divided by b. Now this line of code will throw an exception. Will not execute this line. Will throw an exception. The request will jump to this catch block. It jumps to directly here exception block. Next, it will execute the exception block and it executes the printing a stack trace. It executes these lines, and I printed a print a stack trace. As I mentioned that Java has already written an exception class. There is a method already written by print stack trace. I print the print stack trace and end of the program. When I run this code, so a remainder of a divided by b is equal to 2, exception block. It never executed this line. It jumped to exception block and print the printing stack trace. This line of code is telling a problem where it happened. It says that you encounter exception, but what is that exception? Is it will reporting to you java.lang.arithmetic exception by 0 at line number 14. At line number 14, you have a problem. This is line number 14. You have a problem. Then it completed this line of code. It went to this end of program. It means that the exception has been occurred here, but we catched it and the flow of code is reached the end of the program. Suppose if I uncomment this line of a code and recompile this code and run it again, after this line of a code, it will never execute and it never executes any one of the line. JVM will stop working. You will get a message like arithmetic exceptions by 0, and it will print out this message and it will skip the execution of this line, this line, this line, and this line also. Your JVM will stop working totally. This is the unchecked exception. Your JVM can detect it. Your Java compiler cannot detect it. Because we don't know, you are changing the variable data during a flow of execution. Java compiler don't know how the variable data is going to change during a program execution. The JVM, Java Virtual Machine, only knows. This is called unchecked exception. The similar way, a checked exception. Checked exceptions are, you can detect it while you compile the code. Test check exceptions, publish static void main. You are trying to read a file, abc.txt file in your computer by using a print file input stream, abc.txt. It knows that it will tell you if abc.txt is not available in your computer, there is a potentially an exception might occur. So a file is not found, exception might occur. It is so when you compile this, a Java compiler already understand that must be caught this exception, because file not found exception might occur. File not found. You are trying to find a file abc.txt. That file might not be available. It may be available, may not be available when executing this program. So JVM will stop working when this exception occur. It is asking you, reporting to you, whenever you compile it, Java C, I try to compile it, telling to you unreported exception, file not found. So you should have write a try and catch. You should have catch the exception, file not found exception. Then only it might have, this program might be executed for you. So checked exceptions are detected by Java virtual Java compiler. Unchecked is detected during a runtime of execution. And user defined is a custom exceptions you need to define and you need to throw them based on your business functionality when you are writing a code as per your needs. So generally, we talked about try catch block. The final scenario of try catch block looks like try, you write a code and you have a catch. You can have as many catches as you want because you get different kind of exceptions when writing a code. And always you need to write this exception class is a super class of all your exceptions. So you need to write that class last. It is like, when you're playing a cricket, I'm just giving an example, right? When the ball is coming, most of the balls goes to the keeper and he will catch the ball. Definitely will catch the ball, 99%. And assuming that there is a between the wickets and keeper, there is a one more person. He's standing. Technically, it's not possible, but I'm assuming that. But he is not wearing a gloves. He may not catch the ball because he don't have a gloves. He may not catch. But the keeper is the person definitely catches the exception because catches the ball because he has a proper gloves and proper trainer. Whenever you write this exception, it means that it is super class of all the exceptions. Even if you don't write this user defined exceptions, even if you don't have any checked unchecked exception, if you put this black, all the exceptions will fall in this category. And there is a one more keyword is called finally. Finally is the keyword I'm trying to introduce here. Finally keyword is the keyword. Whenever you write a block of a code in the finally keyword, it always execute. It doesn't matter you get the exception or not. It means that suppose you have not written try catch block, you can write a finally block. If you write a finally block, whether the exception occurred or not occurred, these lines of code, whatever written in the final block, always be executed. Only one time it will not execute is when there is an error occurred. Error means, I told you, the error is the biggest problem. Your computer system is a problem. Your memory is a problem. Those conditions, the finally will not execute. Otherwise, finally will execute for all the exceptions. Whether you catch the block or not catch the block exception, finally will be always be executed. Whatever the line of the code you written. I will give an example. Why do you need to write this finally? Generally, what happens is when I'm trying to connecting to the databases, means you have your computer And from your computer, you are trying to connect it to a database which is running in different computer. You try to open a connections, which is called socket communication. Whenever you open a socket, socket means you are opening a physical connection from your computer to another computer by using a TCP IP protocol, which you cannot see with your eyes, but generally the computer is opening a connection to other computer. When you are using that connection, you do some work. Afterwards, you need to close the connection. Finally, blocks will help you to close any connections, resources, whenever you want to connect. You can close the connections. So you write a code here. It doesn't matter whether you run the code or execute or exception occurred. Always come to final block. You clean up some connections, cleaning up the resources, whatever you have used it, shutting down all the things. You use the finally block in generally. I'll stop here for any questions from anyone. Then we can move forward in the next section.